Good morning, friends. Happy Sunday morning, the day after Record Store Day. Let's see here. Let me get things squared away. All right. Hey, Wyoming Dave is already here. How you doing, Dave? It's good to see you. Okay. Click, click, click. So here we are after RSD. And I'm wondering, Dave, I know you didn't go to RSD because you live in the middle of nowhere. Hey, Flaming Groove. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you, Paul. About to head out to the grocery store, but I'll listen in the car. Fantastic, man. That's great. I'm trying to do this without my reading glasses, but I don't know if I can. We'll see. We'll see about it. So thanks for stopping by. 5 of you in now. So I didn't get any RSD albums, but I did go to my local shop called Drumbug here in Salem, Oregon, and hey, there's Rich. Yeah, no RSD for me. Just digging for used records. That's exactly what I did, bro. I did find some records. The owners of Drumbug, they sell records and drums, and the owner Vinny is a rock drummer, and his wife was a lead singer, and their band played there, and they were playing some awesome Black Sabbath and just some really cool hard rock stuff in the back of the store, which was really fun. It was pretty packed. But I did get some digging in, and found a few things along the way. A couple of 74s. This was one I got. I didn't. This one wasn't on my list, but maybe some of you know this. It's a soul band called Philadelphia, and I listened to the first half of it last night. Didn't know about them at all, really, on RCA, and yeah, it was okay. It's not bad, but one I'm adding. I don't know if you can hear my oldest daughter is here, and she was a nanny, and the little girls she takes care of are here visiting with her, and they're just right outside my studio playing here. So you may hear little girls talking. Another 74 that I got that I was very happy to get is this Freddie King Burglar. Freddie King is a blues guy, and from Texas, I believe, and then he moved up to Chicago, and he auditioned several times for Chess, but they kind of turned him down, and so he went with he was with a few different labels, but this one's with RSO. It's kind of a cool insert in here of him. This picture is really cool. Anyway, he was like the three blues kings, which was Freddie and BB and Albert King, but he kind of had his own style. He toured like over 300 days a year. This is what I read about him anyway, and he lived the lifestyle, and so didn't treat himself very well, and he ended up dying, I think, at 42, which is kind of sad. But let's see. Hey, there's Ian. Hi, everyone. About to take the dogs out before the Masters golf. Oh, that's right. The last round of the Masters is McIlroy still leading? A friend of mine bet on him to win and stands to make a little grip of cash if he does. He's into this. He has the DraftKings app. Do any of you do that? I think I'd like to try it, but I'd probably get myself into trouble. Yeah, it is good. I listened to just half of it, the Freddie King. It's really good. A French pressing. Oh, that's cool. That would be really cool. Let's see. Is Freddie and Freddie King the same person? I don't know. This is with an IE, Dave. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe somebody knows that. Hey, Revs per minute. Good morning. Yes, Rory and Bryson DeChambeau. Head to head, that's cool. I'm going down to my dad's place after. Of course, the Orioles are playing right here in another half an hour or so too, so I'll catch the second half of that game. They haven't been doing very well, but they did win yesterday, which was good. Um, oh, okay. So Rich, they are, yes, the same blues legend. So he spelled it two different ways. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know what this link is, Dave. You want to tell us what this link is? I'm thinking of Freddie King. Okay. Let's see. I did pick up, to resell down at my antique shop. I did pick up this for $1, which it's in mint. It's minty. Whitney's first album, so I'll sell that for probably about 17 or 18 bucks down there. I found Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes yesterday. This was $1 too, and it's in really good shape. It's from 75, so it didn't make the 74 list, but this is pretty cool. I'm not sure which one of them is Harold Melvin, but yeah, it's neat. It's a good, it was a good listen. Listened to it yesterday. Kind of a cool inner sleeve there. But the album that I got yesterday that was my favorite find. Hey Vag, how you doing? Hope to split the mini-series with your Orioles. Yeah, down with the Blue Jays. Anyway, I found this album, this gospel album, and it's look at this. The Gospel Vision Lights, Wash Away, and Walk with Jesus. Look at this character here. It's kind of glary, isn't it? There you go. This is like this is probably a 74 or 75 Dodge Dart or Plymouth Valiant. So there's no date on it. And there's no, it's an independent press from the Bahamas. If you look down here, Nassau, Bahamas. And there's it's not on Discogs. I can't find a lick of information anywhere. I wouldn't imagine any of you know about this at all, but the guy's name is Mac D. Clark. His middle name is Donald, so it's Mac Donald Clark. But I haven't found anything, but it is really, really good. It's not technically, musically, it's not awesome, but it has that Caribbean kind of feel, and the title song "Wash Away," him and his sister Sis Clark, they sing it together, and I wish I could rip it and share it with all of you. Maybe I'll learn how to do that sometime. But I was really this was $5, and I just tickled pink to find this one. Yeah, it's a great cover, Rich, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, that was my score for yesterday. For me, this is better than any of the RSD titles. Although, you know what? I was on maybe some of you were there on the Patreon, Rachel's Patreon this morning. PB Thal came up, and he has got a copy of Dada's Puzzle for me that I'm gonna get. So I was very chuffed about that. That's really cool and nice of him to do that. So he's taking off to go to New Zealand tomorrow, and I take off for Ireland on Thursday, and we both get back, I think, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I'm going over to I leave on Thursday evening, fly to Heathrow, and then from there I don't have to fly to Dublin. I fly into Belfast Airport, which is really good because it saves my sister the drive down to Dublin, because they live in Belfast. So then I'll be staying with them for 10 days, and then my folks have a cottage down in Downpatrick, which is about an hour south of Belfast, closer to the Republic of Ireland, and we'll probably stay there for a few days too. But hope to do a lot of digging. I think probably the strategy is I want to go to thrift stores. They call them charity shops there, first, and then uh, I'll hit the record shops just in case. I'm only taking a carry-on with me um, when I go, but I've planned to borrow a suitcase or buy a cheap suitcase and check a bag full of records if I get enough while I'm over there. So we'll see how well I score. I definitely have a big list of UK releases that I want to get, uh, and the top, the big one is uh, Ireland's own Van Morrison, Veed and Fleece, which I don't have a copy of for the 74s. Both Queen albums. I'd love to find Gentle Giants, Power and Glory. Um, there's a mess of some other ones too, but that'd be really neat to find UK pressings of these. Belfast is the UK, Northern Ireland is the UK, so we'll be spending the pound there. Hey, there's Elaine. Good to see you. Good to see you this morning, Elaine, on Rachel's show. That was cool. Marty, have a great trip. Bye all. Take care, Ian. The Doodles won out. How was I hope you had a good trip, Ian. You were down south for a little bit. Yeah. I've talked to Vag, I've talked to Loki a little bit. He's a private guy, and I respect that. We've chatted a little bit, and if he has any desire to get together or at all, I would love to. I'd definitely make some time and drive down wherever he is, and we could hang out. But I don't expect that he'll want to reveal himself to me. But maybe we'll see. Whatever. He's a good guy. I really like hanging with him online. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I don't have I'm going to be in Ireland with my sister, my baby sister. I have two younger sisters, and my baby sister, the youngest one, lives here in Silverton. And she's going to go over with me. So the three of us will be together for the first time in a few years. And so we're really looking forward to just hanging out. I don't really have an itinerary while I'm going there. Hey, Greg, glad you're here. Yeah, not everyone is Angelo Kelly. I'd love to meet Angelo someday. That'd be fun too. So I told them that I will, they can take me around and show me whatever they want to see. I'm all about having some good fish and chips. My sister wants to take me to a place called Denver's in Downpatrick for some seafood chowder. I want to have some good curry while I'm there. They got great curry takeout. My sister Jill is a really good cook, so she's going to be cooking some meals for us. And we'll probably we might go to the Dark Hedges. Have some of you seen what the Dark Hedges are? Google that up. It's this lane of trees, on either side of a road that's been in lots of different movies. They're big, tall trees, and it's beautiful. That's up north a little bit. We may go to Dunluce Castle. I've already been to Giant's Causeway, which is really cool. But yeah, we'll see. We'll probably go to Castle Ward, which is down closer south of Belfast. That's where they filmed Game of Thrones. The Winterfell, I think, is there. So that's kind of a big touristy thing. But we'll be going around and my little sister Carrie, she lived in Ross Trevor, which is southwest corner of Northern Ireland, and we're going to go mudlarking there. Do you guys know what mudlarking is? You basically, when the tide goes out, you go out and look for little treasures in the mud where rubber boots are wellies, and she finds little pieces of pottery and stone and iron and different things that come up. It's kind of a fun thing to do on a low tide. Let's see. Hey, Marty, I have a nice UK first press of Sheer Heart Attack. Oh, really? Are you? I haven't seen that. I definitely haven't seen a UK press here at all, and I've rarely come across that album. I've resisted getting it here because I want to try to get a UK press. That's not a cheap album, but I'll be in touch about that, Rich. We'll see what I can find over there. Hey, Raji, good to see you here. Glad you made it. Hey, and Ed's here too. Fantastic. Hey, Ed, how you doing? So let's see. So, maybe I could get just a little bit reflective here. Um, it's this record store day weekend and anticipating it, and we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. It's been really fun, and what are we all into? Do we like the jazz or releases? And um, Mazzy and Rob got their take and on everything. And it's been really fun. I'm still in the learning process about all this, and but it seems to be that just over our shoulder or just behind us is what may be happening with our economy and what may be going on in the world. And I'm not. I don't want to get all political on you or anything like that. Maybe just a few moments of reflection to kind of consider. Well, first of all, I guess how lucky we are that we get to do this kind of thing, and we all have. Though we all come together and talk about records here, we're all struggling with something in our life, and when we keep that in mind, it helps us with our compassion and helps us to really kind of keep things in perspective. But I wonder um, what will. Hey, Chauncey, glad you're here, bud. Um, I wonder what will be happening in the next. I kind of feel like my trip to Ireland is right before um, things could get really shaken up. Not that they're not shaken up now, but to where we really see uh, stuff change in the retail sector and in housing and what's going to happen, with the global economy and how things are going to get messed up and do we and is anybody talking about bird flu and how that may be it seems overwhelming sometimes that I get a lot of time. Hey, Uwe, glad you're here. And Jens is here too. Man, I got the crew. So glad you're all here. I have a lot of time in the truck to ponder all the depressing things and aspects of the world and what's going on. But I think it's important to do that from time to time. And so I just kind of I wonder how you all are processing what's going on. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on or what you who you vote for, anything like that. But we all kind of know something is kind of seems to be right around the corner, and I'm I don't know how that's going to work out. So anyway, I wanted to say that I'm thinking about a lot about I've got family around the world as you guys do too, I'm sure. And so we just kind of you know keep that in mind. Anyway, okay, I'm enough of me being all depressed and melancholy. Hey Russell, glad you're here. What's this here? Badge. I have a trip scheduled this summer to the States. As a Canadian, I'm hoping I am welcome into their country. Who would have thought? You know what? Um, people talk about us having a civil war and all this kind of stuff, and I think most of the bluster and most of the disagreement is online. We're protected behind our screens, and our keyboards, and I just think that I disagree politically with half of the country or 30% of it or the huge evangelical movement that supports the president. I struggle with that quite a bit because that was my youth, and but I just don't think that I Canadians aren't mad at Americans, and Americans are definitely not mad at Canadians, and even if you are a Trump supporter, you I think you know I think we have love and appreciation for all of us, and we need to get along. I just don't think some of us grasp. Um, okay, never mind. I'll just leave it at that. Hey, Eddie's here. Um, Hello, buddy. Chauncey says Rob will welcome you for sure. I want to hang out with Rob sometime. That'd be really cool. Hey, I am one of us. Is it Stefan? I think I got that right. Um, Stay involved, find ways to be heard. I've written letters to my representatives in Congress, and I have my pet issues among the many. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I I want to, I've talked about this before, but one thing I really want to do is find out ways that I'm wrong. I don't really want to be caught in a silo of information that's just, and I don't want to be just fed what I already agree with. Uh, I'm I want to look to falsify my own positions, and because I'm learning then when I find out that I'm wrong. That sounds um, conceited, I guess, and maybe trite. I don't know, but not enough of us are really questioning our own positions, and we all need to do more of that. Our certitude level is just way too high. Yeah, head back to medieval fiefdoms. Indeed, that's right. Um, it would seem like you know, it was the money back then. It was the money that had the power, and royalty had the power, and they had the money, and they could control things. And the true is same today. Big business has the true power. The politicians, in a lot of ways, are just figureheads for the big money, the corporation, the corporate interests, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna put a link up because I can't keep talking on my own. I don't know what I have to say. So let's see here. Let's copy that. Okay. All right, there we go. So if anybody wants to come up, they're welcome to do that. I bet Rob would make a fine customs agent. I wonder. Hey, does anybody know what Rob teaches? I don't want to dox him or anything like that, but I know he's a college instructor, and I wondered if it was like if he teaches a media class or something like that. But I'm fascinated by when he talks about doing his polling or film screening that he used to do and the connections that he made. That was kind of fascinating. Hey, Rochelle. Um, so yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I think it is. It's like some sort of a media thing. And I don't know what college he's at or well. Chauncey says Rochelle. Ask Spring Hill Jim. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, right. Oh, I could my my neighbor here in the house next to me, he's a laser disc collector, and that kind of a while back he decided he'd start collecting laser discs, and he's up over 800 laser discs. And I came across this classic yesterday and picked it up for him. I texted him right away, and he doesn't have it, but it's 12 Monkeys on Laserdisc. It's a 2-disc set. I think it's brand new. It's never been played. So he was excited to. After I get off the stream, I'm gonna walk this over to him. He's on the other side of the hedge here. His name's Andy. He's a good guy. And yeah, do any of you remember 12 Monkeys? This was a really good film. I remember it tripped me out when I first saw it. Who was the I'm trying to think of who was the director? I can't see it here. Oh, here we go. My goodness, this is small. But yeah, Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt, Christopher Plummer. Oh, Terry Gilliam, of course. Of course, Terry Gilliam. Yeah. I thought, the new Mickey 17 had some Terry Gilliam kind of esque filmmaking. It was kind of unique. It had that kind of fanciful and twisted way, which was kind of cool. Yes, Chauncey, it's a laser disc. Yeah, my buddy. Yeah, there you go, Raji. You knew. And Ed knew. You all knew while I was looking at it. You were all like, Gilliam, Terry G. Dave says, Terry G. Yeah. Rachel Michelle, are you bringing gifts home from Ireland? Chocolate, perhaps? European chocolate is so much better than the U.S. I don't know about chocolate. I suppose I probably will. I do love their Cadbury stuff there. They do have good good flavored chocolate. There's I like the Boost bar, which is really good, and the Wonder bar. Yes, Rich. Yeah, he's just bringing back. That is my priority, is to bring back vinyl. I suppose I will. Well, probably bring some goodies for my daughters and stuff when I get back. Let's see. Okay, here's one that I picked up. Check. This is old school. This is My Family. This is the Good Shepherds Quartet and Families. This is my aunt, my mom's sister here, and my cousins. They're my cousins in here. This was the album before I was old enough to join and my dad sang tenor in this group, the Good Shepherds Quartet, Southern Gospel. And so the record after this is when my family joined the group. And I found this yesterday in an antique shop. And yeah, so I'm on, I think I have the other ones that I'm on, but this is kind of I haven't seen this in many, many years. This is probably from 78 or 79. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see it in a record shop. Yeah, but I grew up with all these people and yeah, my cousins and stuff. And let's see. Oh, my daughter picked up this Billie Eilish, and man, is this good. This is really good. I guess you don't see there, but it's she got this at Target, I think, but she brought it home, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't get to listen to new records that often because I'm stuck in the 74 thing, but when she played this, it was really cool. Okay, here we got some people coming in here. Hey, there's Jack, and we got Dave. Jack, you might be. Are you muted, Jack? Talk a little bit.
I don't know.
There you go. No, you're good.
We can hear him.
We got you.
Using a laptop, and I'm not really.
You're all good. You're all good.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Marty. Yeah, I heard that Billie Eilish album is pretty good. Someone told me about that one.
It is. It's really good, Dave. I really enjoyed it.
I've heard 2 songs from it. Lunch and Birds of a Feather.
Oh, it's hard to. Yeah, Birds of a Feather and Lunch are on there. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. Crazy how much this was. $37. I just
new stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy how much records cost, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
They're pricey.
Hey, Fluffy's in the house. Good to see you,
Fluffy.
Yeah.
So, Dave, did you go out at all yesterday?
Well, we don't. There's no record store day near me.
Yeah, I know.
I have to drive all the way to Casper, Wyoming, 120 miles away. Probably.
Is there a record store there, Dave, in Casper?
There's an independent record store called Sonic Rainbow in Casper.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure has a record store day. Yeah.
Hey, look who's here. Sue's here. Hey, Sue. Glad you just come by to say hi.
Hey, Yvonne.
And
Vincent.
And Vincent's here. Cool. Hey, Vincent. And let's see. Yvonne is here. Yeah. Good to have you all here. Okay. How many titles did you count? How many titles you got then? Was it like 10 or 9 or 10?
22 record store day titles.
Wow.
Non-record store day.
What was the non-record store day title that you got?
Big Mama Thornton, Jail.
Oh, really?
1975.
Is that blues?
That's blues, sure. You know who Big Mama Thornton was, right?
She did the radio version of Hound Dog. Hound Dog. I know.
Big Mama Thornton.
The Elvis remade.
Yeah, this album here, she does Little Red Rooster, Ball and Chain. She wrote Ball and Chain, the Janis Joplin big
Oh,
hit.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jail, Hound Dog, Rock Me Baby, Sheriff O.E. and Me, and Oh Happy Day. Oh Happy Day is that gospel song from
I know that song.
Yeah.
Oh Happy Day.
But, and this is a 1975 Vanguard pressing, and it just is immaculate.
Is it? That's cool.
Yeah. But other than that,
Did you get all your RSD records in the same shop?
I got them in 3 different shops.
Oh, okay.
Um, my stores don't open early.
Oh, really? Okay.
One of them opens at 1 as usual, 1 to 5, 1 to 6 is their hours. The other one opened at noon, and the first one I went to, it was open when I got there at 11:30, but they don't have a whole lot of record store day titles, but I got the jazz ones there. And then I'm an old guy. I didn't traps around too much. It was like,
Yeah.
left the house at 12:30 and got back by 3.
How close like just within 10 minutes, or how far do you have to drive?
The farthest one, which is the one I went, it's the one I went to first. The farthest one is in Berkeley, which is like exactly 10 miles from me.
Okay.
And then Albany and El Cerrito are 2 little towns between Berkeley and Richmond, and it's Berkeley, Albany, El Cerrito, Richmond, San Pablo, up the east side, north of Oakland.
Yeah. Now you said something about seeing the harbor or the bay. Can you see the water from your place?
Oh yeah, from my backyard, I have a view of San Pablo Bay.
Oh,
which
cool.
is the bay above San Francisco Bay.
Okay.
San Francisco Bay is covered by the hill and trees and stuff.
Okay.
Actually, there's like one spot in my backyard between the trees and stuff where I can see the towers of the Bay Bridge.
Oh, really?
So I've got a great view because my backyard is like 30 feet above my neighbor on the hill.
Okay. You're on a hill. Okay.
I'm on a hill and my backyard is flat, and the neighbor's roof behind me is probably 30 or 40 feet below my backyard.
How long have you been in this house, Jack?
I bought it in 81.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we bought our house in 81 for $81,000.
Okay. Was that expensive at the time?
It was the most money anybody'd ever paid for a house in this neighborhood at that time.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. There, I'll tell you, I got lucky in life. I got married young. I got a really good wife for damn near 50 years.
Yeah.
And then, my mom lived to be 98.
Okay.
She passed away in 2019, late 2019. And in 2020, when the COVID shit hit, I retired.
Okay. Perfect timing.
I said, no, I can't.
What did you retire from?
I was the last 40 years of my working life, I was the purchasing agent manager for a cosmetics manufacturing.
No kidding.
Yeah. It was a real small company. We made creams and lotions for other companies to sell.
Okay.
And it was just a small family-owned manufacturing company, still in business.
In the Bay Area there, close to where you live?
Yeah, they are in Berkeley. So it's like,
okay.
When I got the job, it's funny. The day, when you buy a house, there's a day where you sign papers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For me, that was St. Patrick's Day, 1981.
Oh, wow.
And I went in to the office and we signed, it takes an hour to sign all the goddamn stuff.
Yeah.
And I went back to work and got fired.
Oh, really?
Well, not really fired. The job I was working at I'd done like 10 years of retail before I got into the job I ended up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in, they had set up this little warehouse. I was a warehouseman mostly. And it was a liquor distribution center for this drugstore chain I worked for.
Okay.
It no longer exists. And on paper, it made them a lot of money, but in reality, nobody wanted to do the work to do it. So they decided to cut their loss and end the business. So I had like a month as we closed down that job. And then I was looking for work. I had just bought a house and I'm looking for work.
Stressful.
but I got the job that I ended up keeping. I think I started. We bought the house in March, but the deal with the house was the people that we bought it from rented it back until June
Oh, I see.
because they had
Okay.
kids in school, and you know where I was living. It's funny where I was living. I was in a communal house with a bunch of people, and we had the master bedroom suite because we were the only married couple in the house.
Okay.
But another friend had just moved back from Baltimore, a married couple, and they were going to move in when we moved out. So they lived in the family room. I mean, this was a big house we rented. They lived in the family room for a month while we were waiting to move out because we were waiting to get it, you know,
Yeah.
all that time. And I'm looking for and finally finding a new job. So
Did
that was
you
stressful.
grow up in the Bay Area?
No. I was born in Carroll, Iowa.
Iowa.
Very small town of it was a county seat in Iowa.
Mhm.
And when I was in second grade, so I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, we moved to Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
So I basically grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. When I was 20 years old, after 2 and a partial year of college, I dropped out of college because that third year I didn't even go to class. You know, I wasn't a very good student. And 20 years old, January 30th, 1970, I moved to Berkeley. I had one friend who said I could stay with him until I got a job. And I moved in. There was four guys living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
They were all going to college, and I moved into their couch for a month.
So you met your wife after you moved out to the.
Oh yeah, I met my wife about a year and a half later. We got married met my wife at work, and we were
Right on. Did you have kids along the way?
no kids. No,
No
we
kids,
both
okay.
agreed that you want to feed them. I don't want to take. We were drinkers and partiers more
Okay.
than.
Good for you.
But
Yeah.
I will say the very first date with my wife, which was a week before she turned 21, which is why I know the date, what was the very first time I saw Asleep at the Wheel.
Oh, okay.
Favorite bands.
Sure.
That was June of 71.
Okay.
And Asleep at the Wheel was opening for Commander Cody. Commander Cody was in 1970. They were just like my favorite bar band ever.
Yeah.
I've heard
Okay.
of that. Yeah.
I saw Sleep at the Wheel probably 15 years ago up here in Oregon.
They're
were
great.
Really good. They're so good.
Well, Ray's the only one that's still around.
Is he? Is Linda? Is it Linda Cash Dollar? Is that her name? She was a steel player.
Cindy Cash Dollar.
Cindy Cash Dollar.
She's famous, and she sits in once in a while.
She was playing that night that I saw.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that tour. They've had 75 or 100 members of the Sleep.
I'm sure, right? Yeah, but
It's
Ray is asleep at the wheel.
Ray is Asleep at the Wheel.
Yeah.
I ended up in 2016, 2017. Chris O'Connor, the singer, the original chick singer in Asleep at the Wheel,
Okay.
for the first 9 or 10 albums. She left the band, but she had done a bunch of other stuff, like basically raised a kid and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But she started doing these gigs with a little pickup band in a place in Martinez, which is it's about a 20-minute drive, Martinez, from my house. And she was doing once a month. And they were just great. This little club was maybe 100 people could squeeze in there, but it was, it was only open when they had music, and they ended up closing because of rent increases, like in February, right before the pandemic started. But she was playing there, and so I got to talking to her and meeting her and stuff. And she's a great singer, Chris.
Okay.
She's got she released a couple of CDs, which are probably not available anywhere anymore. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
Jack, have you always looked to go to concerts? Has live music been a thing for you all along the way?
yeah, my first concert, 1965, Beach Boys,
Oh, really?
Omaha. Probably my concert I went the farthest for, from getting in our car, 6 of us getting in a Valiant.
Oh, really? What year? Do you know?
Well, the concert was in 1968, and the Valiant was probably a 62 or a 63. You know, it was
Oh,
not
I
a
know
good
that body
car.
style. Yeah, it probably had a slant 6 in it. I had a 65 Valiant and a 66 Valiant. I like that.
And the guy that arranged and got the tickets for the concert,
Uh-huh.
I knew him. He was the only guy I knew of the 6 guys in the car.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it was a deal where 5 of us bought 6 tickets and some gas money and paid the 6th guy to actually drive.
Okay.
We're 18, 19-year-old college kids from Lincoln, Nebraska. We drove to Des Moines, Iowa, saw the concert, got in the car, and drove back to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Cool.
1968. That was for Cream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Cream that was a pretty exciting concert.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then in 69, I went to everything I could get to in Omaha and Lincoln, and ended up saw the Grateful Dead twice in 69 in Omaha.
Oh, cool.
This little ballroom in the basement of a bowling alley.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was an old 30s ballroom they were owned by the building, and the businesses were kind of owned by the same people, I think, but it was an old 30s ballroom, and then there was like a 40-lane bowling.
Could you hear I wonder if you could hear the balls rolling? No.
No. They were well, it was weird because you could get into the bowling alley on one street, and it was up at the bowling alley level. You go around the block, and
okay.
and the basement was in another. It was the same building, but you couldn't get between.
It was on the side of a hill, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it was called the Music Box in Omaha, and in the late 60s they started doing shows there.
Huh.
Ganya Revan, I saw her. 10 Wheel Drive, just people that would come to to Omaha.
Yeah,
I've heard of 10 Wheel Drive, but I don't know their music really.
Yeah, they're all right, but but then after I dropped out of college, I went to a record store. I mean, this is what you do, right? Mm-hmm. And I had a shit job, and I had I was living at home again. I went into a record store, and they were playing this record, and I go, wow, what's that? And it was the Flamin' Groovies. They had 2 records. They had the 10-inch record that they were self-made, and they had their first Epic record, Super Snaz, and they had them both there, and they were playing them. They'd play one, then they'd play the other one. And it was like the kind of stuff I like, so I bought them and a ticket to the show next week, because the Flamin' Groovies played in Omaha late October 69. And that was the first band, which has got Roy Loney. And Roy Loney, if you ever see anything by Roy Loney and you like rock and roll, buy it.
Okay, Roy Loney. I don't know that name.
Yeah, well, he passed away 2016, 2017, something like that.
Okay.
Recently. But the Flamin' Groovies, then when I moved to California, they were a bar band and would play occasionally, but then their third, well, let's see, they did Super Snaz on Epic and got fired because they're assholes. And then they did Flamingo and Teenage Head on Kama Sutra. And right after they recorded Teenage Head, they came back. They did a live show at the closing of the Fillmore Week, which you can find available on bootlegs. And that's basically the last show that Roy Loney played with the Flamin' Groovies. So they did this great record, Teenage Head, and they never toured on it. And then 50 years later, they do a reunion show, and they played 5 songs from Teenage Head they'd never played before live. That was 2013, 2014 or something. And then Roy rejoined them. Well, they had Chris Wilson was a singer, and they did 3 albums there. There's a handful of singles between Teenage Head and the first Shake Some Action, which is the first Chris Wilson LP. And it's hard to say who's singing on the singles. Some of them are probably Chris, and some of them are probably Roy.
You know, I'll admit I don't know anything about the Flaming Groovies. And
yeah, nobody does.
I don't know their music either. I should look them up. Jeez, I've heard of them.
I'll stream them in the truck tomorrow while I'm driving south.
They're like when the Bay Area was full of psychedelic bands, the Flamin' Groovies were playing rock and roll and Beatles covers and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, that leads me to ask you, Jack, were you, if you were there in the 70s and the early 70s, that was right kind of in the middle of the whole psychedelic thing and Haight-Ashbury and all that.
Yeah, that stuff was just winding down.
Right.
When I got here in 70 and I was Berkeley and San Francisco are completely different war zones.
Sure.
Okay.
Berkeley has got, we had Country Joe and the Fish. Who else was in Berkeley band? Hoodoo Rhythm Devils. You ever heard of the Hoodoo Rhythm Devils?
No.
I haven't either.
Oh, they were a great bar band. They made 4 or 5 records. They had a couple of great singers, and then one of them died of leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's still around, but since Hoodoo Rhythm Devils, he's basically made his living doing jingles because it's
really?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot more money. You don't have to go on the road. But occasionally, there's a pickup band in the Bay Area, plays every couple of years called the Ray Charles Project.
Oh, wow.
The Ray Charles Project has got an organ player from Santana and one of the singers from Santana. What else? Who else? Linda Tillery, something. Chris Kane, a great guitar player named Chris Kane. It's all these, they're all Bay Area musicians that like Ray Charles. They put together a band and they do Ray Charles material.
Yeah.
And they do it well.
Wow, probably put their own take on it.
Well, Hoodoo Rhythm Devils, and you can pick their stuff up cheap if you find it. They're good.
You know what? I'm gonna just write that down real quick here.
But yeah, I've been listening to music for a long, long time.
Did you get into psychedelics at all, Jack? Was that a thing?
Oh yeah, I loved acid.
Did you?
Yeah. I started smoking pot and taking acid in '68.
Okay.
I still smoke pot. I don't take acid. Haven't taken any acid.
Yeah, I haven't in years myself. I'm very thankful for it, for the perspective it gave me along the way. But did you ever have a bad trip?
I did not, but I have been on trips where people that I were with had bad trips.
Yeah.
I just kind of went,
It can be really scary.
You can. It's not all fun and games.
No, it's not.
After you get to a certain age, you just can't. It takes 3 or 4 days to snap out of it. So
yeah. I have an acquaintance who got a vial of acid spilled on his lap and went right through his jeans, and he's not the same. That happened about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's still it. I wouldn't say it wrecked him, but he's a totally different person because of it. He's kind of simple and a great guy. But it can be. It's not a toy, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
but it's an incredible tool, and it opened my mind up to a lot of new thinking about things that I I didn't I was 35 before I ever tried it, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had a little life under my belt.
I was
Uh,
probably 35 when I quit.
yeah, I and I probably haven't done it in over 10 years now, so it's been a while, and
It's not something you want to do for a long, long time, but there was in 1970 and 71, 70, I had living in the East Bay, I had pretty good access and
sure.
it was available and I was pretty lenient. I probably took too much, but you know,
How about mushrooms? Do you like mushrooms at all?
I, if they're good,
Yeah,
we went on a camping trip, car camping trip, sort of,
that's
to
the best time to do it. Yeah.
a place called Angel Island on the 50th anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge. On the 50th anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge, big celebration. They closed the bridge for people to walk across it,
Oh, wow.
the whole bridge for people to walk across it. Well, some friends of mine got campsite reservations at Angel Island, and these are very small campsites. Angel Island, you got to take a boat to get there. It's in
Okay.
the bay, and I believe there's 8 6-person campsites
Okay.
available to reserve, and we had 2 of them for that weekend. And
Wow.
there was probably 8 or 12 of us, and we had mushrooms. They
Yeah.
were great. Well, that weekend, that was before I quit drinking. We went out there, and on Friday night, we basically consumed all the alcohol we brought for the whole weekend. And somebody had to go back to the liquor store, get back on the ferry to bring supplies in. It was
Yeah.
back in the, but you know, you
That
get
would've been great.
old, you get
Yeah.
old, you quit once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think my brain's not in good enough shape, or maybe I've seen too much stuff or whatever. There may be a day in the future after I retire or getting older that I may eat some mushrooms again, but I don't think I'll ever do acid again. I was thankful for
Yeah,
the times I
I
did.
would have to know where they came from, and
Yeah, especially nowadays, yeah, you've got to be really careful with all that kind of stuff.
but
Yeah,
I've never tried either. I'm not interested in it, really.
yeah.
well, yeah,
They're not for everybody, that's for sure.
you need to do it with somebody that knows.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was lucky. The guy that turned me on the first time, he turned 2 of us on. He'd had it 2 or 3 times before we had it. So it was on my first acid trip. We went to the record store and got the first 2 Buffalo Springfield LPs
Oh,
and the
cool.
brand new Janis Joplin Cheap Thrills LP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those were our soundtrack.
Yeah.
Beggar's Banquet was brand new back then too.
Oh, cool.
You know.
Are you a Stones fan at all?
Yeah. I've seen them. I saw them 4 times. I think 4
Is
times.
that right? I've tried over the years to, and they're not bad, but I just can't seem to form an affection for them at all.
Have you ever figured out how different people like different shit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very true,
yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
It's like, well, I like this and I like this. So I'm watching the In Grooves live streams record store day. And while I'm eating breakfast yesterday, I'm watching it. They've got this, they got all the box sets. Hey, buddy, you come in to say hi? They got all these box sets on the counter. And now the box set I was just waiting to get, and I got it, the Blasters.
Oh, Blasters.
I don't think they sold a single one. They had a big stack of them. I was watching. All the time I was watching, I never saw anybody pick one up.
I like the Blasters. They're good rockabilly.
Okay.
The Blasters are another band that I saw. I think the first time I saw them was 78, 79. 80, maybe 80. But they
Yeah.
were they're
Yeah,
just
I was a pretty good kid growing up. I didn't get into any trouble. That happened later in life. Yeah. But I don't know if you'd call me a goody two shoes. So,
Well,
anyway.
you've got motorcycles. When did you get your first motorcycle?
I was 18 years old. I rode on the farm off and on at my cousin's house and stuff like that, little dirt bikes and whatnot. But to get my first motorcycle I got, I was 18. It was a 1979 Honda CX 500C V twin, and I had a couple of those along the way. A lot of people like to cafe them out and customize them now, but I got that. I remember I went to there's a logging town called Sweet Home up here. My dad went with me, and he actually rode it back. I remember buying it from this logger guy, and it was when the nicotine patches were first coming out. And I was just a good little Christian boy. I didn't know about it all this, but he was wearing a white T-shirt. We were out by the garage, wherever, looking at the bike, and the bike was beautiful, and he had a patch on his arm, and he just kept rubbing this patch, trying to rub it in. He was trying to quit smoking. Anyway, that just kind of stuck in my mind. But my dad rode the bike home for me. He had bikes when he was younger, and I followed him in the car. And then when I got home, I hadn't ridden a street bike before that, and I hopped on and went, and I rode it for a year before I even got my endorsement, and just rode it around and spent the whole summer on it. It was fantastic. And then after that, I took a few years off, and then I've had a couple of Suzuki Bandit 1200s, and got in a wreck with one, which is an insanely powerful bike, just very, very fast. And I high-sided coming out of a parking lot once, which means that you go over the back end of the bike comes up, and you go over the bars, and that scared me pretty good. And I didn't get real hurt, but I was bruised up and sore for a while. So I sold that bike, and I've kind of, after that, I kind of made the switch to dual sport bikes. So I have a Kawasaki KLR 650 that I like to camp off of. So I'd go on. It's a on-off road bike, and then I still have my 1980 CB900C, which is just like a little cruiser. Oh, you got a cat? Cool.
This is my friendly cat, Pepper, the black cat.
Nice.
Cool.
Keeps company for sure.
We have a orange cat that is not friendly.
No.
This cat can also be a terrorist. So,
do your cats go inside and out, or are they just inside?
this one is mostly outside, and the other one is mostly inside.
But they come and go as. Do you have to let them out, or they have a little door they can go out in and out of?
I have that window has.
Oh, okay.
I have a bottom window that I can open it or close it.
There you go.
And if the weather's nice, I leave it open.
Yeah.
When it's cold, I close it and I open it to let them in and out.
Okay. How's the weather? It's going to be nice down there this week, isn't it?
It's beautiful out today. It was beautiful yesterday.
Like 70, 71 degrees, something like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Perfect. This is my favorite time of year. I love April and May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. Cherry blossoms and everything's getting green again.
Well,
Not too hot.
I'm an April birthday, so I mean, April's always been a favorite month of mine.
That's cool.
But I got my first motorcycle when I was 16.
Really?
Well, in Nebraska in 1965, it was traditional that you do not get your driver's license on your first test. They failed about 80 to 90% of people that tried to get their driver's license.
Really?
Because it's a right. It's a privilege. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, automatically you have to do it right?
Yeah.
And so both my brother, 6 years older, my sister, 3 years older, had failed the first time. And you go back 2 weeks later and you pass. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Although you can pass the first time. And I made a bet with my parents that I could pass it on the first time, and if I did, they would loan me the money to buy this motorcycle.
Oh, nice.
And so on my birthday, I passed the first time, and my mom drove me to the motorcycle dealer, and I paid $425 for a brand new Honda Super 90
Oh, fantastic.
in 1965.
Yeah.
420, and I drove that thing all over the place. You know?
Neat. What a cool bike.
Yeah, it wasn't
Not
it wasn't
No.
it wasn't a big fast machine, but it, a tank of gas would last a week, and
Yeah,
it was
absolutely. Real light. You can throw it around and get in and out around traffic and everything. Very cool.
yeah, but you grow up. I had a string of bikes before I moved to California, but I didn't have any wheels when I moved to California at all. And then I bought a Honda, a used Honda something out here. And they did the helmet law.
Mm.
And in California, it seems like cars are aiming at you.
Yeah.
Well, I said, I haven't had a bike since, well, I sold it before I got married. So I haven't had a
Been a
bike
while. Yeah.
since 71 at all.
Yeah.
Except for one time went out to a farm. A friend of mine had a big farm, and he had 7 or 8 fun little trail bikes, that we drove around. I think he had 10,000 acres or something.
Oh,
up there.
wow. Yeah, that'd be fun.
It was fun, but
Yeah. I'm meeting some guys this afternoon. After I go see my folks, we're gonna go out for a ride. He's he got a Ducati last year, a sport bike, and
Yeah.
it is something. It's a yellow one. It's really fun to ride. So he's kind of getting the cobwebs off of that, and I'm gonna go pick up some oil and a filter for my bike, and so we're gonna take a rip up in the hills here today. Once the weather gets, I think it's this afternoon, it'll get up in the mid 60s here, so it's a little chilly right now. Yeah, what is it? It's only 51 here right now. Dave, what is it in your town right now?
Well, yesterday we got up to 70. Today it's only supposed to be 50s, I think.
Yeah, I can, as long as it's in the 50s, I can go. I put long johns on and layer up, but my hands get a little bit cold and stuff.
Hey, Mark, I don't mean to interrupt you guys. Could I show you some recent viral finds?
Yeah. Go right ahead, Dave.
There's this musical instrument store in Lander, Wyoming, which is 29 miles south of me. And someone told me they have a bunch of crapload of vinyl records. I came across Bobby Darin's very first album.
Oh, wow.
It's the
what year would that be?
58. It's the original AFCO. Let me see, AFCO harp label.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, that's the original first person.
Have you listened to it yet?
Side 1 plays good.
That's cool.
Let me get this back in here. This is a coincidence. I didn't do this just for you. There's a Herbie Mann album that came out in 74.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Mine was a library record.
I haven't listened to. I procrastinate. I haven't listened to this Herbie Mann one yet.
Yeah.
Came across some more 70s jazz. Ramsey Lewis.
Ah, yeah, I love Ramsey Lewis. His Sun Goddess from 74 is one of my favorites.
I have that song. I came across that Sun Goddess last year. Yeah.
That's cool.
And Grover Washington Jr.
Okay. I don't think he did a 74. I think I've looked at his discography and I'm not sure. He might have.
Well, he did at least 73 and 75. Anyway.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but I don't think I haven't found one yet from 74.
And Jack, I came across this one last September. Janis Joplin's first album too.
Yeah.
You know the story behind that record?
What is it?
They were stranded, I think, in Chicago, on the road with no money.
Mm-hmm.
They made that as a demo, and it basically get them money to get back home.
No kidding.
I'm not sure.
And now, is it mainstream label?
It's the original mainstream label, yeah.
Yeah, that's the original label, but a lot of them now you get them on Columbia because they're.
Well, this
Does
is the
Columbia-
very first pressing. This is the very
Wow,
first.
that's neat.
But it was never really supposed to be. It wasn't like, here's this hot new band, let's sign them. It was this. Here's this band, we'll make this record, and maybe they'll do something else and make us some money.
Yeah.
You know, it was. I never got to see Big Brother with Janis, but I think
Fluffy, Jack saw the Beach Boys. Yeah, that was his first concert, right, Jack?
1965, I saw the Beach
65.
Boys, and I saw them again in the early 70s, 74.
Yeah.
Saw them a couple times, but there was one night at the Fillmore, they had the Beach Boys at the Fillmore, and me and Susie and a bunch of our friends had dropped acid to go. And they had rows and rows of what looked like Christmas tree lights across the back of the stage. And they are just, we're like looking for one that's out. There's one that's out, you know, but at that concert, so this is like the early 70s, there were just tons of young ladies in poodle skirts.
Was Brian Wilson still playing that when you saw them in the 70s with him?
I don't think I ever saw him with Brian playing with him. In
Okay.
65, Glenn Campbell was taking Brian's place.
Yeah, I read
Wow.
about Glenn doing that. Yeah, I read about that.
Brian was at home creating Pet Sound.
That
Well,
sound.
Bruce Johnson filled in with the Beach Boys too. Bruce
Well,
Johnson.
Bruce was a member for a
Plays-
long
Yeah, Bruce Johnson.
time. But and then Brian has been with him a couple of tours, but I never saw one that he was in.
Yeah.
But
I listened to I streamed last week when I was in California. I streamed Pet Sounds, which I hadn't heard for a couple years, and then I streamed Smiley Smile. That's a weird album.
I've never heard
Well,
that.
yeah, I got that. I bought Smiley Smile when it first came out. The one before it is the one I missed, Wild Honey.
Mhm.
You know, I finally got a copy, but I didn't buy it right when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. I was
Smiley Smile was.
it's more of a drug trip, it seems.
Is it-
Yeah.
Well,
I thought Pet Sounds was the one that people were like, "What's this?" But it's much more melodic, you know. It's much more approachable than Smiley Smile, for sure.
Well, you've heard the story about Smile, right?
No, I probably have, but refresh us.
Okay, Smile was a Beach Boys album that was going to be the album after Pet Sounds.
Okay.
And there's millions of stories about it, and you can now find the reissue or the
I've
new
seen that. Yeah,
Smile.
Brian Wilson's
Brian
Smile.
Wilson's done a Smile, the Beach Boys have done a Smile, all these different things.
Oh, okay.
But it was this record that was intended to follow up Pet Sounds, but all kinds of weird shit happened, and he didn't. They ended up. There was a song called Fire, and it was supposedly a really good song, and then some lot burned down, and Brian, there was all this weirdness going on about, and so they ended up putting together Smiley Smile, which was not the Smile album, but was kind of, it had heroes and villains.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think Good Vibrations might be on that record too.
Yes, that was the big hit. The Good Vibration.
Good Vibration was a big hit, and you know when Brian wrote that, the band, he would write the shit and record it with the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
And then the band would come home and
sing the harmonies. Yeah.
And they just couldn't. They hated Good Vibration.
Yeah.
When they first heard it because it's hard to play. You know?
Good Vibrations. I like it.
Oh, it's a great song, but Theremin is hard to play. Yeah, it's just. But they got over it.
Yeah. Hey guys, I have to I gotta duck out. My I'm getting messages from my mom and my friends.
Well,
and,
you have
and
have a great trip to Ireland.
thanks, guys, and you'll see me on the Instagram posting, and if I
Cool.
can, I won't have I'll only be able to post when I'm in Wi-Fi places like at my sister's house and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to post something every day if I can, little adventures, and maybe I could do. I've never done YouTube Shorts, but maybe I could try to do that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think I'll be able to do a stream, but if for some reason I can, I would do one next Sunday. It would be Sunday night there for me, so it would still be at 10. But we'll see. But I'll post a reminder or something like that if I can do that. So thank you for hanging out, Dave and Jack. It's good to talk to you and hang out today, and really appreciate it. Enjoy the sunny weather, and we'll see you around the bend.
Hey, Marty, look up that Hideaway by Freddie King.